the country of kimono. Japan. Until about 100 years ago, everybody know wasai. The process of making a kimono with your own hands and the technique involved is called wasai. Wasai was a compulsory subject in pre-war girls' education. But with the modernization of westernization, kimonos are no longer everyday wear and are worn only on special occasions. That technique used to be part of our lives, but due to the introduction of technology and machines, the number of people who know about it is decreasing. However, there are still people who inherit the technique.
Hi everybody! Welcome to my channel. I am Nami. I am first certified kimono tailor. I think that people are watching this video who are interested in about kimono and hand sewing techniques. This time I'll show you how to sew the normal stitch very fast and accurate. We call it Unshin. Unshin means to carry the needle in kanji. The appearance of unshin is the same as normal stitch. Of course, it takes effort and perseverance to master this technique. But if you can master this technique, you can sew by your hand as quickly and accurately as a machine. So let's get started. Let's see how do I sew look like. I explain simply. My right hand is supporting the needle. The left hand is moving the fabric up and down. This is the unshin. The seams are straight stitched and straight and evenly spaced. If you can get this technique, you can sew over 30 centimeters 1 minute. Let's see another angle. This angle, you can see my thumb is moving a little bit. This movement is important to stitch. I show you my sewing tools. This is symbol. Please put the symbol on your dominant hand. Put the symbol between the first and the second joints on your middle finger. My symbol is cowhide, the wide about 1.5 centimeters. You don't need to choose cowhide symbol. Any symbol is fine, but you have to put symbol between the first and second joints on your middle finger. I'll introduce the needles that I use for hand sewing. You can use any needle for unshin, as long as it is suitable for hand sewing. Please use the best needle that you have. My needles that are often used for making kimonos, we call it shinoni. These are numbers. The number means the thickness and the length of the needles. My needle thickness is 0.56 millimeters. Length is 36.4 millimeters. When you practice the unshin, please choose straight needle. Hold the needle edge and roll it. You can see which needle is the best. This is kakehari and kakerai. These are tools that make hand sewing easier. I clip the fabric onto and then pull the sewing. It's good to have, but it's okay if you don't have it. Let's hold the needle. Please hold the needle that is your dominant hand. It's important to hit the needle to the center position on your thimble. Don't go to the edge of thimble. Always the needle must touch the center position on your thimble. and then you can hold the needle between the index finger and thumb. This time, you have to care about your needle. Don't lean like this. Keep to hold straight. Let's practice a bit. Stick the needle into the table or something bold. It will get scratched, so make sure it's something you don't mind getting scratched. Make sure the needle is touching your symbol that is center position. Grab the needle with your index finger and thumb. Let's move your fingers. Please move your index finger and thumb like this. Touch the needle alternately. This movement is important with unshin. This movement is how you move your dominant hand. Let's practice left hand. Tighten the fabric like this and hold it. Left-handed people practice right hand. You don't need to hold the needle at this time. Move your left hand up and down. Do not move your dominant hand. At this time, move straight up and down 90 degrees. Don't move the fabric too far back or too far forward like this. If you are doing like this, you are not able to sew nicely. This is the ideal move. Don't move your dominant hand, just move your left hand up and down. This is not enough swinging. When you are going to swing left hand, you have to swing up and down 90 degrees. Let's start unshin. First, I'm going to make a stitch like this. And the needle is touching the symbol, make sure that it's center position. Your index finger go to behind the fabric, your thumb on the needle. You hold the needle between your index finger and thumb. Now you are holding the fabric and needle. Hold a piece of cloth that is about 1 hand wide away from you by your left hand. When you bring up the fabric, a tip of needle could be up as well. Hold the needle with your thumb to prevent it. Make sure the tip of the needle does not point upwards. Keep your thumb at the same position to prevent a needle from going up. Pushing the needle with your thimble in a 90-degree angle through the fabric. Now the needle appeared at behind of fabric. Let's bring down the fabric. When you bring down the fabric, a tip of needle could be down as well. Hold the needle with your index finger to prevent it. Make sure the tip of the needle does not point downwards. Keep your index finger at the same position to prevent a needle from going down. And push the needle your thimble. Okay, let's do it again. When you bring the fabric up, support the needle with the thumb that it doesn't go up. And pushing the needle with your thimble in a 90-degree angle through the fabric. When you are bringing the fabric down, support the needle with your index finger that it doesn't go down. And then push the needle with your thimble. Always keep the needle parallel. At first, it is difficult to stabilize the needle on the middle finger. I think a lot of times the needle will fall down off the thimble. Please practice stabilizing the needle and thimble. You are able to stabilize the needle and thimble a few times practiced. I think it's hard to keep the needle parallel. If you are not able to do what I'm teaching you, it's okay to move the dominant hand a little. However, with my method, the tip of the needle doesn't move, so you can sew straight. I fix my dominant hand when I do the unshin. But the method of unshin differs depending on who teaches it. Some people teach the method that is moving dominant hand because it can be so quickly and doesn't get stressed the hands. I think it will be easier if you can move your dominant hand. There are many other methods of unshin. And if it doesn't work, please try another one. I'll show you another how to do unshin. Let's see how do I do it. You can see that my dominant hand is moving a lot. This method you don't need to move the fabric up and down a lot, because your dominant hand also moves up and down a lot. When you are bringing down the fabric, your dominant hand is going up. At this time, the index finger is supporting the needle upward. Move the thumb, and at this moment, I'm holding the fabric and needle. And push the needle by your thimble. Next, the fabric is bringing up and your dominant hand is going down. Now your thumb is supporting the needle downward. Move the index finger and hold the fabric and needle. And push the needle by your thimble. You can choose which method is the best for you. Please try both of them and choose the best one. Unfortunately, I'm not used to sew second one. I mean, moving a lot dominant hand. You can tell I'm not used to it. I like fix my dominant hand to sew. You are starting to try unshin. You don't care about the length of the stitches, and you don't need to keep straight. The first thing, get how to move your hand. If you get how to do unshin little by little, make these stitches smaller. Also, let's take care about to sew with straight. This time, I'll let you know how many seams is the best in 4 cm. Ideally, there should be 9 seams in 4 cm. When you finish sewing, pull the needle out. The fabric is gathered like this because the thread is tight. Hold the start of the seam and pinch the fabric. Slide while pinching the fabric and add loose to the seams. We call it Ito-shigoki. When we are making a kimono, we add loose to the seams because the kimono will be beautifully finished. This is one of the wonderful techniques of wasai. So now I will introduce back seams. The first one is the zigzag seam. We call it hanui. It doesn't matter if the seams look like this when you are a beginner. This time I will explain why these seams are not good. Because it is difficult to add loose the thread. For example, imagine a river in nature. There are not many straight rivers, but there are large rocks blocking the flow along the way. If there were no rocks, the water in the river would flow unobstructed. Since the seams are not straight, it is difficult to add loose to the thread. So that's why it's difficult to do Ito-shigoki. You get used to the stitching. Try practicing sewing as straight as possible. Next one, this front seam is great. However, when I look at the back of the fabric, it has not sewn in some places. We call this tobime. It means jump the stitch in kanji. Because the seams look like jumping to next stitch. Unshin is always sewing 2 pieces of fabric together. This often happens because the tip of a needle are not visible on the back of the fabric. It has not sewn 2 pieces of cloth together. This is caused by not moving the fabric up and down very well and not moving your fingers enough. Make sure the needle appears behind fabric when you are sewing. Hi everyone, how's it going your unshin? I know this technique is difficult to master. When I was beginner, I was sewing the unshin 8 hours a weekday because I wanted it to be professional. But this time you don't need to do like me. 100% you get hurt and sore your hand. So when you practice the unshin, please take rest a few times. And I think you get injured easily when you're sewing because you are not used to it. I can only say take care and watch out sewing. I think sometimes you couldn't get it by my English. I have made the subtitle, so please press the subtitle button. I hope you get the unshin and have fun. So thank you very much for watching my video. I'll see you next time. Bye!